Laziness, negativity, rumors, stupidity, it's just flying around here. Oh, and now this shit's hit the fan. Alright, so let's go for an updated track walk and brain reports back here road. Alright, under the signal bridge. Just forget about the switch track for now. Comes this way. Comes down here past the ice. And just leave it rolling. It's gonna come through the gate here. Come over this way. Watch out for the dripping gutter up there. Over this way. Up to here, there's the rest of the track here, just sitting here ready to be built. So you can see this is coming along. I mean, I got everything on hand I need to do this with, so I'm gonna come back here like this. Just ignore this aesthetic piece of upside down twisted sense of humor artwork there. Back here through the tunnel. It's gonna go through the tunnel here. And over here underneath the signal bridge. And this time onto the switch track. It's gonna go through here. I'm gonna come up through here like this. Go through this way. It's gonna come up here like this. It'll be all underground here. It's gonna go the whole way around. Ah, where's my back? I tell you what, I felt nice out here Monday morning. I was in bed pretty much the last 3 days. I totally missed trash day. It's gonna be underground there. Totally underground there. Totally underground to here. And it's gonna come out through here. Up to this loop track. Through the switch track here and with this loop. There shouldn't be any reason anybody's gonna walk back here with me. I know where everything is. Yeah, if we could dodge the next 2 days of snow out here, it'd be great. I tell you what, without getting a massive amount. I tell you what, I get about 50 pounds of corn to plant. I mean, it's gonna turn this whole area up here into a cornfield. Oh shit, ooh, that's slippery. Oh, that didn't do my back very good there. It's gonna go around here. Oh, I'll tell you what, I had to sit back and enjoy the ride, as I would say. A lot of this track's gonna need leveling and some banking and, I should say, grading. Need some grading and banking. And we're back to the main track here. I mean, the switch track to the tunnel to the bottom of the yard. So it's gonna go that way. But we ain't done yet. It's gonna go this way into the gate. There's Mr. Johnson, I'll find her. And it's gonna come down here like this. And there'll be a bridge right here. And it'll go up onto the roof. So that way, if you're in the front yard, you can see my locomotive up there. Then I'll come around. I'll go up here, throw a switch, go around, go through the tunnel, come up down below, loop around, and come up right there. I mean, you can see how we're gonna do this. I mean, that's sweet. I have my sectionalizer there. That's pretty much the circuit breaker that makes your lights blink 3 times before the power goes out. Got my tap there. Let's see. My parallel bypass disconnect fuse. We have a lightning arrestor on this side, and if you look right here, I have a hanging lightning arrestor. Basically, if that gets hit by lightning, that's a spark gap. And any voltage that's higher than the desired voltage will jump that gap to ground. But right now I have this temporary lead on there, so there's no way this thing could become live. You can see a little jumper on there, how I have that tucked on there. All I can do is pull it off and I'm not grounded anymore. Right, so what I have here is 12-473 phase. You can see how that is up there. And goes to single phase. Allowing in the single phase system comes 7200 volts to ground. And since I'm short on parts, I had to be conservative here. I got a bolt laying there. Get that later. And since I had to be conservative with parts, I mean, you can pretty much see how I did that pole up there. Basically got my 5000 volt insulator. Well, technically I should have got doubled up because that's 7200 ground. Pretty much you can see how I rigged it up because I was short of parts. And if you look right there, my neutral wire is not connected, so. But it all is grounded. I mean, there's my neutral there. Actually, since it's a single phase system, it's called the ground conductor. On the 3-phase over there, you got neutral. This is technically the ground conductor. But you can see how it works. And we have 7200 volts to ground. I mean, you can see how that works. Right, so let's come over here to this other pole. Pretty much the most complicated thing you do with power lines. Basically, when you hook all those inductive loads in there, the voltage leads the current, and you get bad, dirty power factor. Let's come over here and look at this. Pretty much everybody hangs lightning arresters now. It gives you a lot more room in the pole and it's safer. I mean, okay, so what's going on here? We got my lightning arrestor there. In case you could sip out lightning and spark out, it'll jump it. And see if it dissipates the ground. Right, so let's come up here to the power factor capacitor bank. So, right here I have my GE power factor capacitor. Connects to the grounded wire there. Comes over here. You got a shunt fuse. Typically you size your fuse lower than the rating of the capacitor, so if it does get hit by lightning, it'll blow the fuse, not damage your equipment, which you see right there. And you basically got your lightning arrestor. You got the live side and the ground side. You can see how it is, and that's this segmented piece. You see this segmented piece right there? That's pretty much your surge protection. This bottom part's your lightning arrestor, that's your surge protection. So the voltage does arc it, see if it dissipates the ground and doesn't damage equipment. And basically come over here. Typically you'd have a 15 kVA, 15,000 watt transformer on this pole like this. You say pretty much 240, 120 meters something, single phase. And you can see how that is. That's your single phase 7200 right there. Got your neutral there. Your transformer would typically go right here. I got my tap there. You can pretty much see how all that goes. I mean, and if you look out there to the south, you can see the power plant out there. We have a gas turbine power plant, what technically in town is, breaking out some electricity there. Rough steel, that's the word for it. So anyway, there's my power factor up there. And you can see the road truck in the other video. Actually, I'm just going to splice these two videos together, what the heck. Make it as long as possible. Eventually I'm going to add 2 more poles and have it grounded. I mean, have a bend in it, and well, of course I'm going to ground it, but I tell you what, new construction and things like that, you don't climb poles with gaffs. Only if you have to, you can climb those gaffs. Use the bucket truck. But this here is my practice pole. This is the one I'll be climbing on all the time. Those poles I'm using the ladder for, because I don't want to tear them up. I tell you, every time you climb the pole, it takes a little bit of strength out of it. Next thing you know, it cracks and breaks. So here's my practice pole here. So we'll be climbing up and down this one, ripping it to shreds. And then you can see my mulch bed for safety. I tell you what, yeah, but fire and sparks around this stuff's a bad thing. So basically the mulch is going to go here where there's no power. You can pretty much see how this is going on here. There's my hole at the bottom of this bucket right there. That's your smiley face. Typically you put this about 90 feet in the air and you ring it. Yeah, you can put 20 bucks in there, or 100, depending on how much you want people We get up there and climb it. That's pretty much my stage here, so there's really nothing to do with this. I'll tell you what, I have about 50 pounds of corn up here. I'm going to turn the entire inside of that railroad track up here into a cornfield. Let's go potato. I tell you, we're going to try to grow everything we can up here. And the entire inside of this track is going to be nothing but one big garden. Except it's freaking winter time and give me about 2 months it'll be good out here. I'll tell you, all this stuff's falling into disarray out here. I got some pretty much three-phase connection boards out here that need repainted. 277 408 three-phase 4-wire. That's your Y connection. We got a 12208 three-phase 4-wire Y connection. A lot of my power plants need fixed. You can see that I could actually use as a real thing. Yeah, like I said, all this stuff out here needs to be painted. I mean, we've got hydro. Oh, the nuclear fell all apart. I have to redo that one. Yeah, the methane, yeah, it needs repainted too. Let's see, what have we got here? What's up here? 120 and 240 single phase 3-wire. Single phase system. Got your oil turbine power plant there. Open delta connection. That's where you need limited 3-phase. Like those machine shops and like the garage down there, and then we got 1.240 3-phase 4-wire delta highlight connection. And we got the geothermal there. And an endless amount of firewood up there. We'll cover that in some other day. Cloud cover starting to roll in. We'll see how bad the snow is tonight. Hopefully it's not too bad. And that's pretty much about what we got up here. Let's leave that recording. Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, sooner or later I'm going to catch a break with this stuff, we're hoping. I mean, we got a cloud cover out there. See all that moisture out there in the distance coming in. You can see the power plant steaming. I want to say Periopolis, but it's Roughdale. People are saying, why does the Roughdale power plant have cooling towers if it's not coal-fired? Well, pretty much that cooling tower pretty much keeps the turbines cool. It's like a radiator in your car, except it's aimed at the jet engines, and it also helps cool the dynamic braking effect in the generator. That generator is effectively like a bicycle generator on a toaster. The more loads you put on it, the harder it is to spin. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, let's come over here to the transmission voltage real quick. Take a look at that. Your 765,000 volt transmission line, 2.5 million watts, 345,000 volt, 500 kilowatt. And up there we got the 80,000 kilowatt 138 kV. I tell you what, the guide tower design looks nice, but one guy wire breaks, the whole thing comes down. Which really wasn't a good design. Now we got steel poles that they put everything on. I mean, you can pretty much see how this is going on out here. Alright, stay tuned. I'll let you know what comes up next. Okay, so let's come down here and see what's getting done. The first thing you see is this 12-foot locomotive sitting here. I mean, you can see how big that's going to be. And I tell you what, I'm going to sit right here where the engine's going to be. I can see how the engine's going to go. I mean, you can see the radiator and how big this thing really is. Got my signals here. Yeah, right here where a train was already to be made. Got all my marks, just got to drill it with a 1-inch drill bit. You can see how that's going. I just have it clamped to this solid object, the stairs. You can see my signals here. There's my red and white locomotive there. Here's all the sash of wood I got. I just got a hole around. This is my crimper for my axles. Basically, I lift this up, stick the pipe in it, and it pulls down and crimps it. This is my stash of parts right here. This is all the parts I have in hand right here that are loose. So here I got my vegetation management handler. all ready to be put together. I got my welding machine because I'm going to make continuous rail. I'll tell you what, I'm going to cut a couple of these pipes into 4-inch pieces, put a slit about 1/8 wide, pop it in there, join the track together, and I'm going to weld it with this vehicle. I'm going to swap all these out for air tools. Basically got my angle grinder, brush, slag remover, igniter, flint and steel, hacksaws, Scotch-Brite pads, electromagnet to pick up all the scraps of metal, pipe wrench, cut off, grinding wheel. There's my welder down there, the transformer. I'm going to try to get this to run independently by itself. And then we got this thing that shuts the track gauge. Basically, I'm going to put this in place, lower this down, it's going to hold the track in place. And I'm going to put the screws in the track and just screw it right to the ties, very simply. I mean, everything's going to have a horn. It's going to have a solar powered light on each one. So I can do it in the dark. This is my tie crane here. None of this stuff has the controls in it yet. That's why this is taking so long. And you can see what's going on here. I have to move into place, lower that on the track, screw it to the ties. I got the tie crane here, it's going to put the ties in place perfectly. It's got track gaugers on here because basically this thing is here to set the ties. It's going to weigh the track down so I can bend it, make it long enough it bends itself, and that'll weigh the track down. And I'll be able to do this will put the ties down, this will mount the track, and this will continue to swat it in one solid piece. I'm hoping to have solid rail the whole way around the house. I mean, this is my vegetation handler. Basically the weed whacker and the pole saw and big vegetation cutters outside, you know, in the lower tunnel porthole. Basically this is my weed spray and cleanup and everything. You pretty much see how that's going to go. You come over here. I'll tell you what, this room, you think I live in a house full of junk. I mean, look how clean this is. There's almost nothing down here. I mean, everything's in place that needs built. I mean, this is everything I have on hand for these projects. I mean, you can see it's pretty empty. I'll tell you what, I need a green and a red signal for each tunnel porthole. And then I need a yellow signal for, let's see, this direction, that direction, on the bottom. So basically you need 2 different directions on the main, and a stop and a go on the tunnel. You see all the signal bridge out there. I'm going to try to make another one of those. And you can see how I'm going to do this. Very simple. I'm just going to screw these, what would that be called? I can't remember what that's called. It makes it so you can see the signal easier in the sunlight. I'm just going to screw these right to the light socket and just put 2 pieces of 2x4 in the back and mount them right into their mounts. And you can see how we're going to do this. And the train whistles are sitting there and working on. Yeah, I'm working on their train whistle there. See the 1-inch drill that I got there. Just gotta drill that nice and straight. Put some angled cuts in there to make the train whistle like this one. Very simple. I mean, you can see what's going on down here. Yeah, here's the locomotive I'm building, 12 foot long. I'm gonna sit here and ride where the engine would be. You can see the fuel tank sitting there and all that stuff ready to go. Radiator, wheels. I mean, you can see how ambitious this really is. And the locomotive right there I have. And you can see what's going on. These are lights I'm making for the fence posts, and my seeds are sitting there that I gotta plant. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm gonna turn the whole inside of the track up into a cornfield in the farming area. This is my extra piece of wood. I still got 2 more of these outside. So I got all these 2x4s, a ton of them. And there's 2 more of these big pieces outside. I mean, I have no shortage of wood. I mean, everything's pretty much here to do all this with. So anyway, there you go. I mean, you can see how clean this basement is. And the chair collection right there. I mean, you can see I'm not really a pack rat. It's pretty freaking organized down here. Now we just gotta, I tell you what, we got the equipment, we got the ability. Now it's time to demonstrate the skills and get paid for how hard we've been working down here. I mean, you can see how organized this is.